Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Wednesday, June the 11th. We'll start off at the top of the board. That's how this usually works. David Pagnotta reporting that the Dallas Stars are taking calls on Jason Robertson, meaning they're not making calls, they're taking calls and saying they are hesitant to want to trade the player. I agree. But they are shopping Mason Marchment. Not a huge surprise there. When I talked about Dallas in the video about them getting eliminated, I'm pretty sure I talked about their cap situation and said Marchment kind of stands out as the one that, with the amount of money being paid there, it's a $4.5 million cap hit for another year. Moving him in order to create cap space to re-sign players and to be able to maybe add a player or two would make some sense. Dallas really up against the cap. They're going to be active over this summer. We'll see what their lineup looks like going into the fall and whether or not they remain a contending team for the Stanley Cup in 2026. The New York Rangers and the Anaheim Ducks are working on a trade involving Chris Kreider, and apparently it's pretty deep. They're right into it. It's close. Rumor has it that it is a draft pick and a prospect that will be going to the Rangers in this deal, and that the Anaheim Ducks would take the entire cap hit of Chris Kreider. So the New York Rangers, another team with not a lot of cap space. In the event Kreider is moved to the Ducks, that frees up $6.5 million in cap space for the Rangers. And for the Ducks, they're adding a depth forward who it's a pricey contract, sure. But Trouba's play definitely, I thought, improved when he went to Anaheim from the Rangers. And I could see Kreider having a bounce back on the Anaheim Ducks. He could be the kind of forward that they need. Cale Makar has won the Norris Trophy. There'll be a lot of opinions about this, and I get it. There's a lot of people that talk about how he's only an offensively minded defenseman. I would vehemently disagree with that. But he had 176 first-place votes. The only other ones that got first-place votes were Zach Werenski, who had 13, and Quinn Hughes had 2. What hurt Quinn Hughes was being hurt. And for Zach Werenski, he had a ridiculously good season. He was second in Norris voting. But Cale Makar does run away with the Norris Trophy this year. So that is his second. Probably will not be his last. So Makar, yeah, I think if we talked about who's already got a Hall of Fame career, I think we can add Makar to that list now. I do. But yeah, I know there'll be opinions about his offensive prowess compared to his defensive game. And then there's always that argument too of, well, he's not as good without McKinnon. Okay, but with McKinnon, he's absolutely ridiculously good. So maybe they feed on one another. Maybe it's mutually beneficial to both of them. But either way, congratulations to Cale Makar on a Norris Trophy victory. Vasily Ponomarev has signed a 3-year deal in the KHL. So this past season in Pittsburgh, he played 7 games, did not record a point. In the AHL, played 55 games, had 15 goals, 26 assists, 41 points for the Wilkes-Barre Penguins. He was a number 53 pick by Carolina in 2020. Just hasn't worked at the NHL level. He's only played a grand total of 9 games in the NHL. And so he signs in the KHL. Who knows? Maybe when that KHL deal's done, he comes back over to the NHL and contributes. Dodonov is one that it didn't work out initially. And then he came back to the NHL years later, and it worked out pretty well for him. So hopefully it works out for Ponomarev as well. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is seen as a game-time decision for tomorrow. Whatever's bothering Nugent-Hopkins is clearly not just a day-to-day type thing, because he was a game-time decision for the last game. Now he's a game-time decision for tomorrow's. That means it's been bothering him for roughly a week. It definitely had a negative impact, I thought, on the Edmonton Oilers. Chris Knobloch also saying that the lineup will not be the same for their next game, but he's not tipping his hand as to whether there'll be a change in goal, what changes are going to be made. One change that I've seen people talking a lot about is maybe they take out Klingberg and they put in Stetcher instead. I'm a huge Troy Stetcher fan, so sure, that would make some sense. I understand that, Klingberg, a costly turnover there in that last game, but for Stetcher, it'd be nice to see him get into a Stanley Cup final game. Either way, the Oilers have to win tomorrow, or the series is essentially basically done. Jonathan Toews can talk to teams between now and July the 1st and decide where he wants to go. So he is narrowing down his options, and we will probably see him sign on July the 1st. So a lot of expectation that maybe it ends up being Winnipeg. We'll see, but I think Toews is going to want to go somewhere where he has a chance to win a Stanley Cup. 37 years of age, coming back after missing so much hockey. He's going to want to have a chance to win in what might be his final season in the NHL. So all the best to Jonathan Toews. We'll see where he goes on the 1st. Of course, I'll be here reporting on that when we do the live stream on the free agent frenzy to come. Speaking of which, the Columbus Blue Jackets, not a surprise that they're going to be active, and reports from Aaron Portzline line up with that, stating that they're going to go after Mitch Marner. They've coveted Marner for a while now, and so they'll probably throw a ton of money at Marner. The good news for Columbus is they have the money. They have a ton of cap space, and so if they went out and got Mitch Marner, that would bolster their top 6, obviously, immediately. And this was a team that very nearly made the playoffs this season. So adding Mitch Marner could put them over the top. Anytime a team can add a 100-point forward in their prime, that's probably a good thing. I know there's all the discussion out there about Marner and his effectiveness. It's funny because if you read some of the critiques of Marner, you'd think he's like a 40-point forward, not very good, and doesn't play a two-way game. But he does play a two-way game. Very good player, and he had 102 points this past season. So if Columbus could add him, and if all that costs them is cap space, I think that's a victory. We'll see as well what else Columbus is able to get done. Their blue line, if they lose Provorov, they're going to have to replace him. So we'll see how things turn out. But positive news for Columbus right now in that they have all that cap space, and they should be able to sign at least one high-profile free agent on July 1st. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.